Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other Z World update. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Grandma comes up with a plan for Prachi to defeat Rhea, and Prachi sets the fake divorce papers on fire, but unknowingly to her, those were only fake papers, and the original papers were with Rhea. Let's continue. Prachi tells Rambro that she doesn't want him and she doesn't want to talk to him. Rambro says, "You hate me so much." Prachi says, "I know that you just pretend to be concerned." Rambro asks her to go and do whatever she wants and says that he will not come in front of her again. Shahana hears them as they go separate ways. Prachi goes to the room. Shahana asks, "Why did you do this?" Rambro thinks that I did not do anything and wanted to ask for the reason for your sadness. Prachi says, "My pain and anger is given by Rambro." Shahana says, "He tried to help you." Prachi says, "If you wanted to support me, then why did you hold Rhea's hand?" Rambro says, "You asked me not to support you. Okay, I will not do it. I will say it is night or day if you say it." Shahana says, "I know your intention." Prachi says, "My social status is married, but I am alone in real life." She says, "My baby has no identity. This is my life's truth." Prachi says, "I want Rambro to know about the baby and be with him, but I cannot tell him anything as he is married to Rhea now." She says, "Rambro has tied the knot between us, and that is Rhea." She says, "My life's truth forces me to bend down." She says, "I am not just a wife, but a mother who is capable to protect her baby." Prachi says, "I can forgive my husband, but I cannot forgive my baby's father." She says she had come to inform him, but she saw him getting married to Rhea. She says, "I will not give him a chance. Just like he hurt me, he might hurt my baby too." Shahana asks, "Then why are you staying here?" Prachi says, "I told you my life's truth." She says, "I came to take revenge from Rambro and to punish Rhea." She says, "I won't let Rhea's home be set up and I will throw her out from here." Shahana says, "You are not alone." Prachi says, "Today was Rhea's day. Tomorrow it will be mine." Rambro greets Grandma. Grandma asks Rambro what happened. Rambro says the meeting is delayed. Grandma asks him to take her to the temple. He says it is not that delayed. Grandma asks him to bring the bangles from the jeweler. Rhea says it seems like you are sending him intentionally. Grandma says he is not doing this for the first time. She says she has a headache. Rambro goes to bring medicine. Vikram asks, "Where is Prachi?" He says she did not come for breakfast. Aliyah recalls Pallavi's words and signals to Rhea. Rhea says Prachi might have gone to the temple to pray and she must be getting the puja done so that she can stay here for a long time. Rambro comes to Prachi's room and says, "Don't overreact. I came to get the medicine from your room." He finds her missing from the room and calls her. He then recalls her words and ends the call. Prachi and Shahana were waiting in the car in disguise as a man. Prachi says he is 20 minutes late. Rambro gives the medicine to Grandma. Rhea asks him to have food. He says no and says he will go to the office. Rambro asks Grandma, "Where is she?" Grandma asks who. Rambro thinks that he shall not talk about Prachi and asks where is Niti. He says he wanted some fowls. Rhea asks Grandma to have medicine. Grandma says she will go after Vikram goes to the office. Vikram says that he is not going to the office today. Grandma gets worried. Rambro comes out and sits in his car and goes. Shahana and Prachi sees him leaving. Pallavi asks Vikram if he is not going to the office. Vikram says no. He says even you used to come to the dining table first, but you did not come. Grandma says everything will be strange today. The doorbell rings. Pallavi says Rambro must have forgotten something. Rhea says I will check. She opens the door and finds some men standing. Pallavi asks who are they. Prachi and Shahana get inside and they says that they are the IT officers. Grandma smiles and appreciates them in her heart. Vikram says you could have informed us before coming. Shahana says you hide all your money and bitcoins. Prachi says bitcoins can be handled physically. He says they have heard that they have fake companies. Rhea says we are doubtful and asks where are the team. Prachi asks what is your problem. Shahana says big team goes to rich people's house. Aliyah asks if they are not rich enough. Shahana says they are great in class. She asks if they don't know being the coolies. Prachi says she is not the coolie. Aliyah asks how do you know. Prachi says they came here after knowing about everyone. She asks for everyone's phone. Rhea refuses to give her phone and insists to talk to her husband. Prachi takes her phone and puts all the phones together and seals it. Prachi asks Grandma to come with her and asks Pallavi to go with Shahana to show them the room. Vikram insists to go with them. Prachi asks Grandma to be there and goes with Vikram. Rhea says that something is fishy about the raid. Rambo asks Jai if he understands. Jai says you are sandwiched between two sisters. Rambo says I was with Rhea in the college, as I used to think that we were a power-packed couple, but I was a reckless 18-years-old boy. He says I used to thought that our friendship was love, and says that he tried to hurt Prachi to impress Rhea and he fell in love with Prachi in the process. Rambo says I regret and I feel guilty. Jai asks why did you marry Rhea then? Rambo says I love Prachi and I cannot think of marrying Rhea, but Rhea threatens to commit suicide. He says what would I have done? And says I ran out of the wedding altar, but my father made me sit again. He says Prachi was hurt when she saw me marrying Rhea. Rambo says Prachi is changed now and she wants her right, but she doesn't love me. He says he is going far from her to London for a month. Jai asks, did you tell your family? Rambo says who cares, and says that Prachi will be more happy that I went. Vikram and Pallavi takes Prachi and Shahana to the room for the IT raid, thinking that they are the IT officers. Grandma asks Rhea to sit down calmly. Rhea asks, how can you be so calm down? Grandma asks, shall I cry? She says, why shall we get scared when we are not wrong? She asks if you have done anything wrong. Aliyah asks, what do you want to say? Grandma thinks that she wants to distract Rhea and Aliyah and tells them that since Aliyah came here, the raid happened, and says that they might got a tip that Aliyah has hidden the black money here. Aliyah says, why shall I hide the money here? Grandma says that the raid was her idea. It happened due to her. Rhea asks, what? Vikram takes Prachi to another room. Pallavi says that there is nothing in the room. Shahana says this must be yours and your husband's room. Grandma says that she has told her friends that they have much black money at home. She says maybe someone gave the tip to them. Rhea says they will break the walls. Grandma goes behind Rhea. Aliyah checks the landline and thinks that they are not from the IT department, else they would have called the landline. She calls someone, that is the police. Prachi opens Rhea's cupboard and sees the locker. She asks for the keys. Vikram sees Prachi's bed coming down and identifies her. Rhea comes there and asks what kind of raid is this? Grandma comes there and hopes that Vikram should not tell anyone that she is Prachi. Rhea tells Prachi that he will not get anything. Prachi asks for the keys. Rhea says I don't have it. Prachi says I have to break the locker. Vikram asks Rhea to give the keys and says the raid will be over soon. Rhea says that she is not convinced about this raid. She throws the key on the ground and asks her to open the check. Prachi says let me walk. Get out. Rhea says I am doubtful on you. Vikram asks what? Rhea asks do they look like the IT officers and asks why are you walking like a thief? Shahana comes there and shares her doubt on Rhea. She says you are doubting the government and says we are the best officers of the department. Rhea says okay fine, do your checking. She says when you don't get anything, then I will see. Vikram says let's go out. Rhea refuses. Aliyah asks her to come out. Grandma smiles. Prachi drops the key. Grandma says I will go else they will doubt me. Vikram thinks of seeing Prachi's face. Pallavi asks what is he hiding from her. Vikram says he has some office stress. She says I want to know the truth. Prachi opens the locker and gets the papers. They keep the papers in the file. Pallavi says what happened today? Vikram says I swear I am telling the truth. Grandma comes there and says he cannot tell you. Pallavi asks why. Vikram says he was told that he shall not tell anyone, especially you. Grandma says there is your anniversary after 2 days and he was asking me what gift he shall give to you. Grandma says we would have the party lavishly, though he disagrees saying the house matters. Pallavi thanks Grandma. Aliyah calls Pallavi. Pallavi goes. Vikram thanks Grandma. Grandma says my work is to save you and says I like to see you helping Prachi. Vikram says I did not understand. Grandma says you can tell me and feels that Prachi is the real daughter-in-law of the house. Vikram says we never wanted to make her as our daughter-in-law, as Rhea was our choice. Grandma asks why did you support her then? Vikram says whatever wrong has happened with her, I did not like it. He says he wants justice for Prachi. Grandma appreciates him. Prachi and Shahana comes out and return their phones. She says we shall go now. Rhea says officer stop because she felt something suspicious. So in case you don't understand what happened in this video, Prachi and Shahana went in disguise to the Kohli's house in order to steal the papers. This is Prachi on the picture here. So they disguised themselves as men and they went to steal the papers. Alright, thank you for watching my videos. Please don't forget to like my video, share it, and please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Thank you for watching my video.